Hi preps, welcome back to our science lesson. We are going to be learning more about the weather today, but we have nearly finished our weather unit. In fact, we only have this lesson and one more next week, and then we're done with our weather topic. And then next term, we'll be moving on to a different topic. Okay, so for this second last weather lesson, we're actually going to be looking a little bit more closely at the wind. Now, before I do, I'm going to switch over to my computer here and I'm going to look up today's weather. Let's have a look. All right, I'll just type in weather in Google. Okay, now I'll just zoom in a bit here. We can see the weather today, because I'm recording this on Monday, but you guys are watching it on Tuesday. The weather for me today on Monday is mostly cloudy. It's 20 degrees Celsius. Okay, so it's actually a pretty nice temperature day out there. It's cloudy but not raining, which is pretty nice. Okay, and we have another reading here that we haven't really looked at yet. Okay, so this tells us what the sky looks like. Mostly cloudy. This one tells us how warm or cold it is, and it's actually pretty nice today, 20 degrees. Okay, but there's another one over here we're going to look at, and this one is the one that my mouse is on now. It's called the wind. Okay, now this is the wind speed, how fast or how hard the wind is blowing. Okay, and that's what we're going to be learning about today. We're going to be learning about what this means and some different science words for when the wind is different. Okay, now wind is an interesting one because we can't see wind. Okay, wind is invisible, but we can see what the wind does. So for example, if the leaves are moving in the trees, we know the wind is blowing them. All right, but we can't actually see the wind itself. Now, I'm going to go to our booklet. We're on week 9 now, so you'll need your booklet. You can actually do this along with me if you'd like. I'm going to do the first part of it, and so you can copy me if that helps. And then the next part of it you can do by yourself. All right, now for this, I have what we call, this is actually called a scale of different wind speeds, okay? Now you can see there's some numbers on this side here. It starts at 0. And then it goes to 1, 2, 3, all the way down over 3 pages to 12. 12 is the biggest. Okay? And we're going to start up at number 1, and we're going to have a look at these different wind speeds, these wind, as they call them, categories. And we're going to learn the science words of what they mean. All right, I'm going to do this first one now. All right? Now, this first one here is category 0. So this is when there is 0 wind, when there's no wind. Okay? When there is no wind at all, we actually call this calm. Now I've written the answer for you. So all you need to do is copy my little writing there. Okay? So I'll write calm here. You need to write calm as well. So you can do this at the same time if you're right. I'll try to do it with my mouse. C-A-L-M. There we go. Calm. All right, my C is a little bit messy there. Actually, I'm going to do my C again. I'll try and keep our work nice and neat. That wasn't much better. Let me try one time. There, that's a bit better. Calm. We want our writing to be nice and neat. Okay, so when there is no wind, we call that calm. Okay, it is calm. All right, good. That's an easy one. Now, this picture here has a little picture of a house because can you see the smoke above it? The smoke isn't being blown one way or blowing the other way. When there's no wind, we can actually just see that like smoke would just go straight up because the wind's not blowing it anywhere. So remember, because we can't see the wind, but we can see what it does. And in this case, it's not doing anything. The smoke just goes up. If the smoke is going to the side, then the wind is blowing it that way a little bit. Okay? All right, so that's our first one. Now the next one I've already done for you. Category 1. This is when there is just hardly any wind. It's just a tiny bit. And this is actually called light air. Okay? We don't really use that term much, but that's what they'd call it in the science words. Light air means it's very gentle. Very gentle. Okay? Now, with this one here, it would be just enough to feel a tiny little bit, but it wouldn't actually turn these wind vanes. Okay, so can you see this little chicken I've got on top of here? It's like a gold chicken. This is called a wind vane. I've actually got a picture of some here. Now, wind vanes are actually something people would put on houses maybe in the country and stuff, or in their garden, and it will turn to point which way the wind is blowing. Okay, so I'll actually play this, and you can probably see them turn it around here. I believe they spin it around a little bit. There you go. See, it spins around. Okay, now someone just spinned that with their hand. But if there's a gentle breeze, it will spin and point the way that it's going. So people can see, oh, the wind is blowing that way, or the wind is blowing that way. You might have even actually seen them at like airports. They'll have these wind socks, these things here, and the wind will blow these socks, and then the pilots who are flying the plane can see, the wind is blowing that way, so they can take that into account when they're landing their plane, because we don't want planes to be being blown by the wind. Okay. So light air is, the smoke would get blown, but it's not enough to turn one of these yet. Still very gentle. So let's go to the second one, category 2. Okay, this is the light breeze. This is just when the wind is going about the speed you'd walk, just walking speed. And if the wind is going at a gentle walking speed, it's just enough to make the leaves in the trees wobble. So I've got a picture there of the leaves in the tree wobbling. Okay? And I'm going to write light breeze here. So I'm going to switch over here and I'll write light breeze. You can do that too. Light breeze. You might have heard of a breeze, and a light breeze is just a very gentle, even less than a gentle breeze, very small breeze. Just the leaves in the trees would wobble a tiny bit. So category 2 is still very, very gentle. Okay? Now, if we go to a category 3, it gets a little bit more. Okay? And this is actually called a gentle breeze. So a category 3 is a gentle breeze. And in a gentle breeze, the leaves would still be moving, but also some of the sticks or the twigs, some of the branches will start to move as well. Okay? So the branches will move a little bit more. Okay? So what I want you to do, I've already written the answer. There's a picture here, but that's missing. I want you to draw a picture there of a tree with its branches wobbling a bit. And I like how they use the pictures up here. You can see they're wobble lines. They put 2 little lines there next to the leaves to make them wobbling. So you could actually just do another picture like that and have some little wobble lines there, like little wobbling. Oh, it's wobbling. Ooh, it's wobbling a bit. So I want you to draw a tree with just some gentle wobbles on the branches. Okay. Let's go now to the next one. Category 4. Now, category 4 is called a moderate breeze. Now, if I'm going too fast, remember, you can just pause this video and do the answer. Okay, so if you're still doing the picture of your tree in the gentle breeze, pause it, finish that, and then keep going. Now, moderate breezes are getting a little bit more again. So in a moderate breeze, that's enough to actually blow papers away. Have you ever seen, like, outside someone drops some rubbish or something and the rubbish gets blown away a bit? It's a moderate breeze. It's just enough to start blowing papers and dust and things like that around. Okay, I've done that one for you, so you don't need to do anything there. Okay, getting stronger again. Category 5 wind here. This is getting to be, for anyone who's wondering, it's getting to be about 35 kilometers an hour. So it's like a slow car. The wind is going like a slow car, and it's just enough that you start to see little waves come on to the ocean water. Okay, so you'll get the waves tipping. That's why in this picture you've got the little waves there. They're not huge waves, but it's just enough to get the waves to start crashing over, little crashes. Okay, and this is called a fresh breeze. This is pretty nice, really. This isn't too bad. A fresh breeze is just a good strong breeze. And so I've got the answer written there, a fresh breeze, and I want you to write that here. You could put fresh on the top and breeze underneath if you want to. Okay? Fresh breeze. Okay, after fresh breeze, we're getting bigger now. Here is a strong breeze. The wind is starting to get really strong now. Now, when it gets this strong, it's actually strong enough that it can turn people's umbrellas inside out. Has that ever happened to you? It's happened to me. One time when I was walking to school in the rain, I was carrying my umbrella and a bit of a strong breeze came and went poof and broke my umbrella. And right out the other way. And that's a strong breeze. Okay, that's our category 6. Okay, so this strong breeze is pretty strong, but it can get even stronger. After a strong breeze, we get to a thing called a gale. Now, a gale is what the word we use, a science word for wind, when it's really getting really strong. Okay? A gale is when it is strong wind. All right, now this first one is a near gale, so it's nearly at a full gale. And you can see the picture here is someone having trouble walking a bit. They're having to lean into the wind a bit. Okay? It's like not too bad yet, but that might have happened to you in Portland too. In fact, it's definitely happened to me. Walking around, sometimes I'd even have to hold my son David's hand because the wind starts to blow him a little bit. And you're like, what? Can the wind really blow us? Well, it can. In fact, I've got a little video here. Okay, I'll put it up for you guys. Yeah, this was actually a boy here just out in a windy place, and you can see the wind. I'll play it. The wind is blowing this tree, the branches of the tree, really hard, and this boy is like, getting blown a bit by the wind. He's trying to walk this way, and it's like, it's a bit hard to walk around. It's really, really getting blown. See, it's blowing his bike a little bit too. So it's not hurting him, and it's not blowing him away, but it's a very strong wind, and it's making it hard to walk around. It's like, it's pushing him back a little bit. So he's like, no, I think I want to go back home now. So he runs back home. So that's at a gale wind, okay? Yep. And that's what this picture here is. Picture here is a gale. Now so that's a near gale where it's just getting a bit hard to walk, and number 8 is when it's getting really hard to walk, okay? Now, so what I want you to draw here is a picture of someone having trouble walking. Like they have to lean in and they can't really walk. They're getting blown a bit. They're not getting blown away, but it's getting really hard to walk. Okay, so draw a picture there of a gale, and then you can write the word gale in big writing underneath here. G-A-L-E, a gale. That's our science word for a very strong wind. All right, now, when at a gale wind, this is actually at about a bit over 60 kilometers an hour. So that's about as fast. The wind is about as fast as a car as it drives on some of the main roads in Portland. Okay, so it's going pretty fast. All right, now the next one I've done for you. This is a strong gale. Now, strong gales are much stronger. We don't really get these around here as often, okay? And you can see here that it's actually starting to knock over some branches. Like it's actually starting to rip up branches, and it might even blow over a mailbox or something like that. And then this is called a strong gale. A strong gale. So you can see there's little bits of like planks or wood or sticks or leaves, now like branches getting actually blown off. You might have seen that around sometimes when a branch of a tree gets blown off. We've had some branches in our schoolyard get blown off in the past, and we've cut those off and moved them away. So this is a strong gale, very strong now. This is getting almost as fast as the car, the wind here, okay, on the highway nearly. All right. After a gale, we're getting super strong now, and this is a storm. This is what is called storm winds, okay? This is a category 10, And you can see at storm winds, it actually starts to push down trees sometimes, and it can start to break some rickety buildings. Now, I want to point out something with this here. When we talk about storm winds and stuff like that, it's not the same as a storm. We can have a storm and the winds aren't that bad. But when they call a storm for the wind, that means really strong wind, and it's going 100 kilometers an hour. It's as fast as a car, and it can start blowing. We don't get that much around here, especially doesn't really happen on land anywhere near as much. Okay, but usually that's like that type of wind isn't a problem for us here in Australia. Okay, because our houses and our buildings are very strong. Okay, in Australia, we have strong houses, really strong schools, so that wind doesn't matter to us. It's more a problem in poor countries. In poor countries where their houses are not very strong, the wind can blow some over their little houses, maybe do some damage to their little houses because their houses aren't strong like ours here in Australia. In Australia, our houses are super strong, and you never have to worry about that. Okay? But that's called a storm wind, so you can just write storm here. Okay, I've got it spelt for you there, so you can copy me. All right, now these last ones here don't really happen on land very often. This is very, very rare, and we don't get them in Portland, so you guys don't have to worry. All right? If it sounds a bit scary, we don't get winds like this here in Portland, so you don't have to worry. This is violent storm. So here I thought it'd be fun. You can draw a picture of a really bad wind. So maybe you draw a tree getting pushed over, or maybe a garden shed getting blown over or something. You can draw a little picture there of a really strong wind, something a bit of fun. Okay? But we don't get those winds here in Portland. And even if we did, our houses are too strong. Okay, and last of all, this category 12 is a cyclone. Now, cyclones are like superstorms. They're really big. We don't get them in Portland, but they're very, very strong winds, and they usually happen out further on the ocean and not down in the Portland Ocean. But cyclone is another good science word, and we'll write the word cyclone here, and you can just copy my writing again, Cyclone. Okay? Now, boys and girls, this was a pretty long video, so I want you to work for about half an hour. So if you have only got so far, like if you've only got to this part where you've done the gale and you've used up all your time, you can stop there and just have a look at these other ones. Okay? But if you're a fast drawer and a fast writer, you can go right down through all 12 of them. Okay? So, boys and girls, these were all words and science words for different wind, from zero, no wind, all the way up to a big, massive wind and a cyclone. Okay? It's pretty interesting, but just remember, you don't have to worry here in Portland. Our houses are very strong. We never have any problems like that here. And it's just an interesting thing to learn in science. So, boys and girls, that's all you have to do for today's lesson. I will see you again next week for our last weather lesson. Thanks a lot, guys. I'll catch you later. Bye.